What is up, y'all? It's Kyra and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be like the first sit down video that I have done in quite a while. I feel like all I really do is vlogs, and honestly that's just what I enjoy doing the most, especially with my crazy life. But I am sitting down today to do a little bit of a new house Q&A because if you guys missed it in the last vlog, I shared here on YouTube that we are building / we bought a house. It's kind of like basically we went under contract on our house back in January, so we have spent the past year building our next house, and we are at the tail end of the build, so technically the house is like built, so it's like technically we were building a house, but the house is like ready to go now, and we are moving into said house very soon. And so we are super excited. Our moving process has been the exact opposite of what we said we were going to do. We promised ourselves we would not procrastinate, that we would not wait to the last minute. We had this whole plan to like start November, all that. Y'all, it is terrible. Like, you guys see our room? Ain't nothing packed up in here. So that part is a hot mess, and we are going to be very stressed and tired for the next like a week or two, but it's gonna get done. And once it's all done and we're in the new house and everything is like situated and kind of like settled in, it'll feel so much better. But anyway, so today again I am doing a new house Q&A because I have been getting a ton of questions on Instagram, specifically Instagram, because I actually shared the news about the house on Instagram months ago. So Instagram has known for a while, and I have been getting tons and tons of questions. So I figured I'd go ahead and just like do an actual dedicated video to answer all of like most commonly asked questions that you guys have been wanting to know. And so we're gonna just go ahead and just jump right into it. Okay, first question that I have is, how is it purchasing a house during this market right now, like for interest rates and availability? Honestly, it wasn't too, like, we don't really have any issues, but I will say, mind you, we went into contract in January. God be knowing, y'all. God be knowing, because we went into contract in January. You know what? It was actually right after we had got back from Paris. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and insert the reel that I created to announce the news on Instagram. Kind of explains a little bit about what happened.
You make all things beautiful, beautiful for me. You make all things beautiful, beautiful for me. You make all things beautiful, beautiful for me. You make all things beautiful, beautiful for me.
Long story short, a year from when we went into contract, so that was early 2021, we were literally just driving around. Like, one of our past, well, me and Dion just love looking at like homes, model homes, all of that. But it really became like a pastime for us during the pandemic because like everything was still locked down. Like, a lot of the model homes were still open because people still have to buy houses and all that. So like literally one of the things that we would just do is we would just like, whenever we were bored, we would literally just drive around the model homes and like explore different neighborhoods and different areas and all of that. And one day we were just driving around, and I don't even remember how we came across it, but we were just driving around and we just like drove into this neighborhood, and literally we drove in and we were like this is the one, because it literally checked off all of our check boxes, and we were having like a really hard time finding something that really met all of our needs. We kind of drove in and we were like this is the one. We were like, we both said like this is it. Like, it just felt perfect. Like, everything about it felt perfect. We drove in and like it just felt like we were supposed to be there. And again, that was early 2021. Obviously at the time we weren't ready to buy or anything then. I mean, at that time we were actually still in the process of renovating our bathroom here, so like we weren't looking to buy, but we kind of knew like whenever the time came and like whenever the perfect opportunity presented itself, that was probably where we were going to land. But then again, like the year went by, we still explored other neighborhoods, other model homes, all of that, and nothing like quite fit. And so early this year, so early January, so we had just gotten back from Paris, and I remember like just driving by the neighborhood just to like get some more information. I wanted to kind of, you know, get more information about like, you know, what like the lot premiums were, like, you know, the floor plan pricing process, all of that. And let's just say like the day that I went, the timing just worked. Like literally, it was like all of our ducks were in a row and everything had this line that we like jumped on it right then. Like I remember going, get all the information, and I literally drove across town to Dion's job to like tell him all about it, just to like kind of like get his thoughts on it, because I was like, basically it's an opportunity like we could not pass up. And I'm so glad, because I'm telling God be knowing, because I almost didn't even go there that day, but we went ahead and jumped on it. And this ties to the question, because the question was, again, how is it purchasing a house during this market right now with interest rates and availability? And it worked out perfectly, because we went under contract and everything. Less than a month later, let's just say the housing market and everything skyrocketed like less than a month later. So it worked out perfectly for us, thank God. We didn't have any issues with the market in terms of availability. So no, interest rates, we obviously know that has been a complete hot mess. Fortunately, thank God, you know, it didn't really impact us in terms of like our ability to still purchase that home. Obviously interest rates have gone up, so that does impact like the financial output of it. So how much we'll be paying for our mortgage and interest and all of that, so that obviously hasn't impacted. But I personally don't believe in wait to each your own, y'all. I'm not a financial advisor at all, but let's just always remember that mortgages can always be refinanced. So interest rates are important because it obviously impacts what you can and can't afford. However, you can always refinance your house. So me and Dion, I mean granted we went in contract before everything went crazy with the interest rates and all that, but honestly, even if you were looking like just trying to look today, like we wouldn't hold out on purchasing a home because of the interest rates, because you can always refinance your house at any point in time. To us, most important part is the purchase price. Like that's really what it boils down to. And fortunately for us, we landed on a good price before everything went crazy. Let's see, are you doing an empty house tour? The answer is no. Long story short, we're not doing an empty house tour. I think I mentioned in the last vlog that we're kind of doing things a little bit differently with this new house than we did with this house. Like with this house, you guys got like a first-hand look into everything. Like you guys had an empty house tour. You guys got like a million home decor updates. All that, like literally anything that relates to the house. All of that, I won't really be doing it as in-depth and as detailed as I had in the past, as I had with this house. Just because, I don't know, I'm older, so my thought process of things is just a little bit different. Breland will be finishing off high school there. Olivia will literally be growing up there, like starting school, all that stuff, because we plan on being there for a while. So it's like, because it's like something that we're gonna, and also mind you, whenever we moved into this house, we moved into this house knowing that it was temporary. Like we never planned on staying here for a very long time. So, but this house, like we know we're gonna be there for a while, so it's just a lot more sacred to us, if that makes sense. So like, I'm not gonna be doing like a full on walkthrough tour for obvious reasons, like for safety, security, all of that. Now, you guys will obviously be getting like room transformation videos. Like you guys will be getting home decor content. It just won't be like 10 different home decor videos, because I am also working with interior designers, so like a lot of stuff is gonna also be done behind the scenes, so I can't like really bring you guys in on that. So you guys will get content related to the house, but not like a full on empty house tour while I'm walking you guys through our floor plan and through our house room by room and all that. Like you guys won't be getting any of that. Okay, another question is this y'all's forever home, or will y'all move again? We don't know, because we literally change our minds like every other day. Like this is a house that we truly feel like we will have no need to want to move from, or foresee any need to want to move from, if that makes sense. But we never say never, because you never, God be listening, God be working, okay? So, you know, we could move in this house. No, we will for sure be in this house for a while. Like that I know for sure. We will, like, this move is the last move that we will be making for quite some time, okay? Like Olivia will be doing elementary school there, and she's only 1 year old, so that kind of tells you like where our mind is. So we'll be in this house for a while. But will we be there forever? I can't answer that. Okay, so next question. Are you guys selling the current home, or will it be rental income? That's a good question. So without going too deep into it, because there's obviously a lot of different factors that kind of play a part in whether you sell or rent out a home, we decided to sell our house. We really thoroughly weighed both options, and it just made the most financial sense for us, short-term and long-term, for us to go ahead and sell the house for various reasons why we decided to. But for us, our goals, our future, all of that. It really made the most sense for us to go ahead and sell. Another question, current progress on the new home. Like I said earlier, the house is done. So again, we will be moving in there very, very, very soon. Just like all the punch list stuff and, you know, blue tape and basically all like the little finer details that they have to kind of work through. But the house is done. The house is a house. Like, everything is in. So it makes us super, super, super happy, and we're just so happy with how it turned out, because it's so weird because we picked all of like our design finishes and all of that in like early February, or it's like end of January. I don't know. It was like what feels like a long time ago, like forever ago. You're always worried if you'll still love what you picked so far ago, or so long ago. But fortunately, we love almost everything that we picked, and I'll have to explain that in a whole nother video. We love almost everything. Like, there are a couple things, honestly, just being real, that we picked out and we just didn't love how it came together. We could live with it, or we could change it to something that we love. And if y'all know me, y'all know I'm very much I'm gonna change this to something I love, because listen, if I look at it every day, I want it to be something that I absolutely love. And so, yeah, so basically, long story short, there are some things in the house that we are, cosmetic things that we are going to be changing. It's not a whole lot, but just a couple things that we're going to be changing. And then there are some things that we're going to be adding to. So because this is not a fully custom build, like obviously we're working with pretty much like a blank slate, which I love and which I am super excited about. So because it is basically a blank slate, some things we're going to be kind of tweaking and changing, and then some things we're basically going to be adding on to really make it like us, if that makes sense. Okay, the most asked question is, what made you guys move and build a new home? The question really, and the answer really is just timing. I kind of mentioned it, kind of explained it earlier, but we had found a neighborhood and, you know, a builder that we love that literally hit all of our check marks. Me and Dion were super specific about like location, school district, you know, like the actual, what the community looked like, the obviously home pricing, property taxes and all of that. So like there's like a whole like list that we ran through, but location I feel like it was like the number one thing, because we were very, very, very specific about the location. It really kind of like minimized like all of our options, if that makes sense, because we cared about location more than anything else. I feel like, well, I feel like location and lot size / house size, lot and house size were like our top two contenders. So like above all else, the house has to be in the right location and it has to be the right size and the right lot size. So like I said, last year we happened to stumble across a neighborhood that checked off everything, and then earlier this year we just literally all of our ducks were in a row. I went by there, happened to get information about it, and everything just lined up perfectly. We really wanted to jump on it because it was one of those things, like if we hadn't jumped on it then, we would not had gotten exactly what we wanted. And fortunately, it all worked out. So really just timing is really what made us want to move and build a house, because we knew eventually we were going to. To be honest, we planned on being in this house for at least 5 to 7 years. Obviously, we have not. We just made 3 years in September. So we're moving sooner than we thought, but it's a blessing. And then aside from that, I would say the biggest reason why we're moving is space. Let's be honest, it's really the space. We love this house. I still tell everybody, like, I love our current house, love it. Like, if it were just me and Dion, we would not be moving at all. But whenever we moved, and if you guys remember the empty house tour, we didn't really have a whole lot of space to, I don't want to say grow into, because technically we really did. Basically, long story short, we only had one extra room in this house, and Olivia took it. So sum it up, that's pretty much it. Whenever we have guests, more specifically, we don't really have a whole lot of guests, but you guys know we travel a lot. Whenever we travel, Dion's aunt typically comes and stays with us, who we love. But now when she comes to stay with us, like, we feel so bad because she has to sleep on a mattress in the game room, because there's like literally nowhere else for her to stay. And she doesn't mind it, but we are desperate for an actual guest room. With that being said, we literally have no more space to grow into. Not saying that I for sure don't want to have more kids, but if we decided to have more kids, we literally have there's like literally nowhere else for the kid to go. Okay, another question is, do you and Dion have different styles for decor? The answer is yes and no. Okay, so even with this house, me and Dion, our general style is the same. The way that we execute that style and the things that we think lends to that style is different. okay? So we'll be like, oh, you know, we want like, you know, modern or contemporary or organic or whatever it is. But then like whenever we're out shopping, like I'll see something, I'll be like, hey babe, you like this? And he'll be like, no. And then he'll point something out that he likes and I'm like, absolutely not. So the way that we execute our vision for said design style is very different. Even with this house, it was a struggle. So yes and no. Again, we do have the same decor general style. A lot of the pieces that we love tends to be very different. So even with the new house, like we have bumped heads a couple times on like picking out like some of the pieces for the new house, because it's just like he likes one thing, I like one thing, whatever. So we have had a lot of compromising, but I will say that our compromising has like paid off perfectly, because the things that we picked out so far for the house is like chef's kiss. Okay, another question is, will your home aesthetic change or will you keep it with the modern cozy vibe? The answer is it'll still have a modern cozy vibe, but the overall aesthetic is going to be a lot different. I feel like this house, if I describe it as more like modern luxe, so like it's modern, but it has more of like a luxurious feel, especially in the family room and this room. So you guys know like we love like lots of velvet and like different textures and things like that. So we will definitely still keep some of that in the new house for sure. But one of the things that's going to be changing and that you'll see a lot more of is like an organic component. In this house, we use like some like natural textures and things like that, but not like a whole lot of it. But in the new house, we really wanted to pull in a lot of like organic textures and tones and things. We actually were inspired by our trip to Mexico back in May. We went on like a little trip to Mexico back in May. And like our hotel, we were like, we were really obsessed with the aesthetic and the vibe of the hotel, and we're actually using that as like inspiration. It's not like we're not pulling exactly from it. We're basically taking like different components of it, baseline, and kind of added onto it, because obviously it's a hotel. So like the hotel decor was like very casual and relaxed, and we don't want our house to like feel that casual and relaxed. So we kind of basically took like a lot of the info from the resort and kind of tweaked it to make it more a medium, because we do like a nice looks factor. Okay, like we want our house to like look and feel nice and like a hotel, and like it should be magazine, like that's really the vibe. But it's gonna be a lot more organic. So long story short, there will be components of our decor in this house that you guys will see in the new house, because like this really is our style. But it's taking this and it's adding a lot more organic textures and tones, a lot more wood, a lot of like iron, a lot of like concrete, a lot of like vintage vessels and like vintage planters and things like that in the house. Okay, another question is favorite rooms to style for the new home that you are looking forward to. That's a good question. I could say the whole house, because I'm excited about decorating the whole house. Honestly, it's a lot of house, so it will be a while. Like when I say we're taking our time with this new house, like don't expect the house to be done or decorated within a year, because it definitely will not be. Like we are literally taking our sweet time because we want to be perfect. Even with our design process, like I said, we're taking a lot longer than I thought that we would to like pick certain things and like kind of finalize the design and all that, which we finally did, fortunately. But it's because we are literally taking our time, and like we'll see things and like we'll see things like we thought that we loved, and then like we'll see it in a rendering and we're like, we should swap this out or change this or whatever. But if I had to pick a specific favorite room, like if I had to pick, let's say my top 3 rooms I'm excited about, I would say the family room kitchen area. And I'm kind of like cheating, kind of throwing that together because it's kind of like all one big space. Hands down, the family room and a kitchen is going to be like the true heart of the home. That is what we are focusing on designing and decorating first. That's where all of our attention has been. And we're pouring all of our attention to it because we want to get it, like that's how much we want to get it perfect. So yeah, so I would definitely say the kitchen, living room, family room area, our bedroom, obviously. Like this room here was just so much fun to do, so I cannot wait to see what we come up with for our primary bedroom. And then probably our dining room or my office, I don't know. I would say probably the dining room, mostly because like I said, we have a dining room here at our house that we never got a chance to decorate. And so we typically have never had a dining room. I mean, we have the space for it here, but we never actually decorated it. And the reason why is because we literally were about to start decorating, finally start decorating our dining room at the top of this year. And they wanted a contract on this house. And then we were like, we decided like it literally made no sense for us to start decorating or designing a dining room knowing that we had just won a contract on a new house and that we would be moving, because we knew that we would not want to do the exact same thing at the new house. Also, we knew that we would not be able to use the same furniture at the new house because the space is a little bit larger. So like the scale of everything would have been off. So we just like, you know, let's just save our money. Let's just not decorate here. So like literally we have had like a big open space in our house for 3 years now. So I cannot wait to decorate that in the new house, because me and Dion have a lot of ideas that we wanted to do here that we can't wait to kind of like, you know, tweak and adjust and actually execute for the new house. All right, y'all, so quick interruption. Got a little guest because somebody's getting sleepy and daddy has to take care of something. So here we are. Again, y'all, this is real life. Okay, so last question for the Q&A is, what were your must-haves for the new house? And did you find it hard to pick a builder? I'll start off with the what were your must-haves. So we had a set number of bedrooms that we wanted. So obviously that was one of our must-haves. I did want a movie room or a media room in the house. I wanted an actual office, and then just like more entertaining lounging space. That was also important. Honestly, we didn't really have like a huge laundry list of must-haves. Like really, it was just space. And for a minute, we didn't think that we were going to find it, but fortunately we did. And then lot size or land size, whatever you want to call it, was also super important for us as well, because we just want like a nice, you know, we just want like a nice size backyard, a nice size front yard, all of that. And location, I think I mentioned earlier that we were very, very, very specific about the location for the new house. Like we knew that we wanted to stay in a certain area. So that really limited our options. And then like distance to the city, just like the convenience of getting to and from like Houston proper was also very important to us. And that's pretty much it. But I'm sure there are more things that we considered. I can't think of them right now off the top of my head. And then the other part of the question was, did you find it hard to find a builder? And the answer is yes, actually. Like I said, we had stumbled across this neighborhood and our builder specifically, like randomly, and it worked out perfectly. But I will say we have gone to a million different neighborhoods, looked at a million different model homes, explored a million different options, and it would be either like we would find a builder that we really liked that like had the size and the square footage and all the features within the house itself, but either location was bad or the lots were tiny. Like I don't know why these builders and these people, these developers, build these like nice houses on these like tiny lots. I'm like, who, like, I'm like, what's the point in that? So at least to us, we're like, like no. So yeah, it was a bit difficult, but fortunately it all worked out. But our builder that we went with is awesome. The quality of the build is awesome. The floor plan itself is awesome, and all of that. And we're just like really happy and thrilled with our decision. So yeah, that is it for the Q&A. I do also want to address one thing before I end off the video, because it's one thing that I know you guys are going to ask, and I have actually been asked quite a bit on Instagram. And that is why we did not go with a custom build. I think I mentioned, I don't know if I actually mentioned in this video, but so we did not do a fully custom build. So we went through the regular route where, you know, you find a builder, pick the floor plan, you know, make your changes, your structural changes and all of that. So like, you know, if you want to add on a bedroom or bathroom or add on whatever whatever upgrades you can add on and all that, structurally and cosmetically. So we just did that route. We did not do excuse me, we did not do a fully custom build, and there are several reasons why, but basically, long story short, we pretty much, there are really three main options for us that we weighed. Okay, so option A is to do a fully custom build where we literally work from scratch with an architect to, you know, design your house, get the permitting, all that. Well, first of all, you have to buy land. Then, you know, you work with the architect to, you know, design the house itself. You have to get the permitting, all of that. Then work with an interior designer to like actually pick the selections and all the finishes and all of that. then do the build. And so that was the first option, which there really was no need, because we had ended up finding the floor plan that we're moving, that we in the building, literally hit all the nails on the head. Like, it's perfect. But again, we could have went that route. We just did not have a need to. And also that timeline takes like twice as long. I mean, it's like double, if not more than double the cost. And obviously it's like a lot of different factors. So for us, it just did not make sense for our circumstances. And it just didn't make sense for us. The second option was to buy an older home and renovate that. And we actually seriously considered this option. But then me and Dion realized, like, if we are being real, we do not have the patience to take on a full renovation. Because any pre-existing house that I looked at and walked into, it was like going to be a complete gut job, because I'm like, I don't like anything in the house. Like, literally there wasn't a single house that we looked at. We looked at tons and tons and tons, and there was not a single one that I did not want to like basically start from scratch. And then option 3 is what we ended up going with, which is just to find a builder that had a floor plan that we loved, that checked off everything, you know, all of our check boxes, and do that. And that is what we did. Hopefully that answers all of you guys' questions. Hope you guys enjoyed this new house Q&A. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I can always take you guys along on the new house journey and share all the fun content with you guys. Again, y'all my decorating, making some changes, doing lots of fun things. So definitely subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you do not miss out on any of that. And also turn on the notifications if you guys do not already, so you guys do not miss a video coming up, because there will be lots and lots and lots of content coming very soon. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up again. Subscribe to my channel. And Olivia says, bye-bye. See you later. We'll talk to you soon. Huh? Say bye-bye, mama. Look. Say bye-bye. Bye, y'all.